Good afternoon there, comic book fans. Well, Wednesday there was a snowstorm, so I couldn't get my comics, and Thursday was Thanksgiving, of course, so I couldn't get my comics. So here I go with my comics on Friday. Finally got to them. I think of it. Here's Mind Management number 28. Wonky Ninja's question of the week was, if you could only collect one comic book, what would it be? Which, of course, is a tough question to answer, but I went with Mind Management, just because it's been a really good book, all 27 issues that I've read so far. It's coming to an end next year, I think. I don't remember how many issues it's supposed to have, 32, 34, 36. But the story's coming to an end. It was originally... he had planned out the first 6 in some nice watercolor style. He had planned out the first 6 issues with other stuff ahead. And, had the first 6 issues done, but the sales were good enough that it kept going. And I'm glad it kept going because it's a book I've really, really enjoyed. All sorts of weird superpower-ish spy stuff. Check out Mind Management. You get it in trades or whatever. Wow, we were getting too much direct sunlight there. I had to lower a blind. Next we get issue 29 of The Massive. It's part 5 of 6, which means there's only one issue left of The Massive. Big ship sailing along. It somehow turned into this alien story. All along it's been a story about a sort of right after the environment has gone to hell on the earth and people are trying to figure out how they're going to live on the earth now that things have gone crazy and there's giant storms and flooding has happened and crops don't grow like they used to. It's not quite post-apocalyptic. It's more like apocalyptic. It's happening during the apocalypse. And the whole series has been with this sort of Greenpeace type organization. Who this guy, The Massive, is the name of one of their ships, who they were originally looking for. Trying to deal, what is a organization that's kind of trying to, and when I say organization, there's only 5 or 6 guys, main characters left in it. What are they supposed to, who are trying to save the Earth? What are you supposed to do after the Earth? You didn't get to save the Earth. Meanwhile, this last story arc, and we got, I don't know if they're aliens or ancient Earth dwellers or whatever the heck they are. It just all of a sudden got supernatural. But I've enjoyed it, so we'll see how this one ends. The Manhattan Projects, number 25. I was just discussing with a friend at the comic shop how we both read Manhattan Projects. I still don't know what these silly double-page spreads of nothing are. How after 25 issues, neither of us have any idea where this story is actually going. There's Albert Einstein, 2 of them. One with fighting aliens. Yeah, this is one of those stories you'll have no idea where it's headed because it's so zany. But I like it a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought 25 issues. Let's see. I'll stick with Mind Management as my number 1 pick. This might be my number 2 pick, though. This is good stuff. Lazarus, number 13, with this nice. This is Michael Lark. Greg Rucka writing it. Michael Lark artwork with. Is that Arcus? Who's on the colors? Michael Lark, Tyler Bosk, yeah, Santi Arcus on the colors, nice artwork on this one. I got a song going through my head. I'm almost singing it out loud. I may every now and then. But this has been a good story. The first story arc I enjoyed. It was about Lazarus. What's her name? Forever. She's the Lazarus, who are these people in the future who look after these big royal corporate families, and it was kind of about her finding herself. Then the second story arc, I found myself rooting for the villains, who were these sort of regular people who were trying to get the sort of one percenters to pay attention to them and not oppress them. And then this third story arc is kind of all sorts of political intrigue going on between a bunch of the one percenter families who are trying to steal each other's land and property. Good story. I enjoy it. If you like political intrigue, this is the story arc for you. Here we go with Butterfly, issue 3 of 4. I've really been enjoying this. Matter of fact, I haven't even... This is one of those where half the cover is on the front and half is on the back. Oh, haven't even done that yet. Look at that. That's father and daughter. Spy story. Daughter thought the father died when she was a child. Daughter kind of followed in his footsteps, became a spy. Now she found out he didn't die. He disappeared himself to protect his family, and all sorts of trouble is going to ensue. Some nice artwork, sort of graphic. Not graphic as in bloody, graphic as in lots of shapes without modeling on them. I've enjoyed the story. Once again, another comic with a great feel. Is this Archaea again? Another comic with a great feel. That same cover stock. Man, all comics should use that cover stock. I don't know why they don't. Anyway, Butterfly, issue 3. One more issue left. Good stuff. Here we go with Wayward number 4. It took me 3 issues to put Wayward on my pull list finally. But I finally did. Enjoyed it. It's kind of I've heard people compare it to sort of a Buffy the Vampire type story, and I guess it's like that. It's about a teenager who's, what is she, half Scottish? I can't remember if she's Scottish or Irish now. I should remember that. But, anyway, she's half European and, and half Japanese, and she just moved to, I think it's Tokyo, with her mother. Her father stayed back in Ireland, I'm thinking now. So she's adjusting to the culture of Japan and discovers she can see weird monsters. And now has hooked up with a couple other people who can see weird monsters. So, you know, they formed the high school Weird Monster Club, I guess. It's a nice cover on that one. The artwork on it is pretty nice. It's manga-esque. Lots of the monsters in it are from, that's a nice shot right there, are from Japanese folklore. They had these rat monsters and turtle monsters and stuff like that. From Japanese folklore. So overall, I'm enjoying it. It made the pull list, so I'll see how it goes from here. Usagi Yojimbo Senso. Matter of fact, I think there's another wraparound cover I haven't looked at, because the other ones were. Oh, look at that. That's nice. It's a Usagi Yojimbo future story, where it takes place 20 years from the normal Usagi Yojimbo timeline, where it's H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds type aliens are invading Japan. So they're fighting samurai. It is pretty darn interesting stuff. Stan Sakai, whose wife unfortunately just died, I saw on the she'd been fighting some sort of cancer for a while. And they had a book made to raise some money for her health care. And she unfortunately has died, as I see on the internet these days. But Usagi Yojimbo is a great comic. I think it first came out in 1986. And I've bought every issue since then. There's I'd say, I think he just passed... Since it's been renumbered and there's a couple miniseries, I think he just passed 200 issues of Usagi Yojimbo. So that's a lot of comics over the last almost 30 years. It's all good stuff. Solid. You always get a solid, fun story with Usagi. Give it a read. And here we have Trees number 7. I wish I could describe this comic more to you, but it's a kind of weird one. These weird mechanical tree stuff show up on Earth and don't do anything except affect Earth culture by just being there. And it's mostly been a character book so far. There hasn't been a whole lot of plot, which is okay with me. I'm not always a plot first guy because I've read just about every plot you can come up with, so I'm okay with character stuff. Nice. He's the kid in some Asian city. I think he's in Japan too. An artist kid. Some nice drawing. He's the guy up at the North Pole. Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 groups of people who've been following in this story. All over the earth, them all dealing with these trees, as they call them, the giant pillars that show up and have done nothing so far. But now it looks like they've got legs. I'm not quite sure why, but someone pointed out this is a Tiananmen Square sort of cover because, like the guy facing off against the tanks, he's facing off against the trees. We'll see where that goes. Good story. It's on the pull list. I'm with it wherever it goes. Here we have Rasputin #2. A lot of people think not much happened in Rasputin #1, but I think there was a lot happened in Rasputin #1. It established his entire character, and there's some really nice artwork in it. And when do you get to see a man fight a bear like you did in issue #1? Gosh. More fighting. So, if you want to see a man fight a bear, this big guy right behind him, his dad, fight a bear and lose, pick up issue #1. Otherwise, Rasputin, pick up issue #2. Oh, he's a Russian historical character from the Russian Revolution, in case you don't know that. Very famous figure in the world. He's kind of famous for being a weirdo guru holy man rather than for anything he actually did, so that's kind of interesting. But liked the first issue, made it on my pull list after only 1 issue, so it's good. And here we have Odyssey #1, Matt Fraction and Christian Ward. This is, I guess, is the #1 that everyone has gotten this week from Image. I cannot even remember what it's about because sometimes these Image #1s have been selling out at my local shop, so I put just this one issue on my pull list like a month or month and a half ago, and then promptly forgot about it. So I saw it on my pull list this week that it was coming out on the email I get from my comic shop, and I was like, oh, look at that, Odyssey #1. I wonder what the heck that was. I think it's a science fiction story. There's a big fold out in the beginning here. I won't fold it out for you just because other people have, and lots of weird psychedelic colors and strange people. Like I said, I have absolutely no idea what the plot is going to be on it, but I'm ready to give it a try. And finally we have another comic I picked up just for its cover. Once again, I think it was Wonky Ninja showed this one on his pull list this week, and I said, oh, I kind of like that cover. Jay Lee's been doing some nice covers lately. Well, he did some nice ones on that Batman-Superman book he did, but I never bought any of those. And I think he did the one before this that I liked, but I didn't get it. I got the alternate monster Catwoman cover. So I said, oh, well, I like this one. I'll pick it up. Nice weird work with type, the logo there, and nice figures, and pretty gruesome cover of, I don't know, it's not quite a bondage cover, it's a hanging cover. That's kind of strange subject matter, but either way, it'll probably never even get read, because, let's see, what does the artwork inside even look like? I don't know. Because I'm not much of a fan of Catwoman. Don't care one lick about most mainstream comics, so I'll keep it around for a while in my little pile, on top of my pile, so I can look at the cover. Then I'll shelve it with all the other ones I bought just for their covers. I take them out every now and then and look at them. It's like a little art show. Alright. So you guys out there have a good week. That was my pull list.